Good morning, everyone, and welcome. I'm Rimantas from Hermitage Solution team, and today we have very interesting topic to cover related to security and management of the things we hold in our hands every day. It's our mobile devices. Why this topic is relevant and why we as distributors of cybersecurity solutions in Baltic states decided to cover this topic now. Across the Baltic region, organizations, of course, are very heavily investing in protecting their endpoints, their servers, their data centers, cloud services, critical applications, and so on. It is kind of what the usual things our organizations do and start from. But however, the mobile devices have quietly become one of the most important business tools, often providing direct access to our email, to corporate applications, sensitive data, to all kinds of collaboration platforms we have in our organizations. And the reality is that smartphones and tablets are now business critical endpoints, yet they are frequently overlooked in cybersecurity strategies. At the same time, of course, the threat landscape continues to evolve, with attackers increasingly targeting mobile users. For organizations in the Baltics, where digitalization is very advanced and remote working has become commonplace, as we know, mobile security should be no longer optional. It is a necessary component of cyber resilience. But to guide us through this topic, I am pleased to welcome our guest speakers. It's Trond Siversen, Partner Sales Director at Techstep, and Michal Koziel, Partner Sales Manager at Techstep. So they will walk us through the current mobile threat landscape in our region and in the world, the capabilities of modern mobile device management and threat defense solutions, and of course, shortly introduce us and our audience with Techstep and their expertise in this topic. So, Trond, let's start. And my first question, of course, is leading from my intro. Of course, please introduce us to Techstep, but answer us as you can. Why do you think the risk of using mobile devices is underlooked compared to traditional endpoints? And why do you think attackers are focusing more attention to the mobile devices? Please.
Yes, thank you, Rimantas, and thank you for that good introduction. I just want to show one slide about Techstep and our expertise, so you know where we are coming from. So we are originally a company coming out of the Nordics, but we are getting more and more partners and customers all over Europe. And we are focusing on one thing, and that is delivering mobile solutions to the market. We like to say that we deliver end-to-end solutions. We have competence in regards to software, we have competence in regards to hardware, and we have competence in regards to consultancy. And then we are the expert into delivering mobile solutions to the market. But then we have come to a place where there's more and more focus in regards mobile security. And today, Rimantas, we are going to focus more on the mobile security part and what Techstep and how Techstep can help in regards to securing endpoints. So in regards to your question, I would say that why is the mobile endpoint overlooked? I think that we come from a place where all companies are using portable computers. And through decades of using the traditional infrastructure with portable computers, Everyone has a setup, with network security, and everything was originally made for PCs. Then suddenly, we see a huge increase in mobile usage. Today, there are more mobile users than there are PC users. But we see that people are bringing their own mobiles to work, but we also see that companies are providing mobile phones. So the landscape is, a little bit complex. Sometimes, you bring your own phone. Other times, you get a phone from the company. And then companies don't really know, how do I protect the mobile device? And what do I do? So in that sense, it's important to start with a mobile device management solution. And I think a lot of companies have understood this the last 10 years, and they have a mobile device solution. But here comes the million dollar kind of question. Is MDM enough? And the answer is no, because MDM is not security. It's about administrating the endpoints, not about security. And then you need actual a security solution on top. And I don't think companies are aware of that. And I don't think that most companies today have an active mobile security endpoint solution.
Yeah, so you said it already. The mobile devices are now one of the most common entry points for risks, for attacks. Yeah, but organizations still treat them as secondary security priority. Yeah,
Yeah.
could you elaborate on that?
Yeah. I think that's um, if you really sit down and think, how often do you use your mobile for business work? I think the answer is that you use the mobile much more than you think. So it comes out of a place where people where companies think that, okay, we have a mobile, we put on MDM system, and it's enough. But then, you're adding on applications on top, maybe from the business, and so on. So you come from a place where you kind of underestimate the usage of mobility, and that's kind of the start of the challenge. You know, it's underestimated. Um,
Do you
then,
have any statistics around that?
oh yeah, I have a lot of statistics actually. We can jump into one slide there because I just want to emphasize what I'm saying in regards to
Yeah,
usage.
please do.
uh, just want to show you one slide who shows you how much mobile is a part of the growing website traffic worldwide. And today, the mobile actually consists of 62% of all website traffic all over the world. I don't think that people or either companies realize that the mobile is actually the most used tool on the internet. And then if we move forward from that, because there has been so much more um, traffic on the mobile side, we see that the threats, are more and more linked up to uh, coming from the mobile side.
Yeah, you made us look and take a glimpse at the threat landscape. So of course, my next
Yeah,
question is where this mobile threats, mobile risks stand in the threat landscape for this time, for maybe 2026.
yeah, that was my point, because with more traffic, the threat landscape is broadened, and as I said, and more threats are coming from the mobile side. And then I just want to underline that with some statistics. Uh, when I read this report from the European Union Agency of Cybersecurity, I was a little bit amazed that now 40% or more of all cyber attacks comes from the mobile side. And if we remember maybe 3, 4, 5 years back, I would say that maybe 80% were attached to PC, email, and phishing. So we are in a shift, and this is maybe the biggest part of the problem. And then, if 40% approximately of the attacks come from the mobile side, almost 70% of these attacks are actually able to extract some kind of data out from the businesses. And then if you look at different attacks, because there are different ways of attacking from the mobile side, you can attack to vulnerabilities in the operating system of the mobile phone. It could be from the network side. It can be from the application, or it could be phishing, where you actually try to extract information out from the company in many different ways. And we see that phishing is where things are happening today. And the threats are increasingly smarter, and the threats is happening in many different ways, through SMS, through social media, and a lot of new ways. And here is where you have to really think about how can I protect myself in regards to phishing.
Mm, I know that later you will have some practical examples, yeah? How does it look like, yeah, on the user's phone and so on. So, but before that, we
Yep.
talked about generally about the risks, about the landscape, and I think that everyone kind of understands how mobile is important now, even though it's overlooked systematically, but it's very important, yeah? But beyond those technical risks,
Yep.
there is also growing regulatory dimension, yeah, for mobile security across the Baltic region. Organizations now, it's a hot topic, yeah, preparing for and adapting, not only preparing but already quite extensively adapting requirements introduced by frameworks such as NIS2 or DORA, yeah. These regulations, of course, place greater emphasis on general risk management, visibility, incident detection, and so on. And of course, the main part is security of all systems that access critical business services and data. Yeah, of course, mobile devices are those devices that access it. So again, so as organizations across the Baltics work to comply with NIS2 and DORA, where does mobile security fit into this?
Yeah. So we see more and more projects all around Europe where different companies are preparing for example, NIS2 and DORA, as you say. And let's talk a little bit about NIS2 because I'm involved in several projects all over Europe in regards to that. So now NIS2 is extension of NIS. It involves more sectors. That means that more and more companies have to follow the NIS2 regulations about protecting critical infrastructure. And the definition of critical infrastructure is getting broader and broader. And in the scope, there are much tighter and stricter security requirements, which then now also, of course, also the mobile side is a part of that. So NIS2 also covers mobile endpoints. And then, if you're not able to be compliant against NIS2, there are also strong enforcement and penalties that can be utilized into NIS2. Let's look a little bit into NIS2, seen from the mobile side, because this is often overlooked. Again, I think companies are thinking a lot about protecting their infrastructure, protecting their business, so to say. But NIS2 actually raises the security bar, and there's several new requirements that you have to follow. Much more stronger cybersecurity requirements. All endpoints all endpoints, including mobile, have to be protected. You have to look at risk management. You have to look at incident reporting. You have to have governance and accountability in place. That means who's responsible for what. And then, if you're not compliant, these can have consequences. And then, as we said in the introduction, that the mobile is, a very important part of the NIS2 framework, because as I showed you guys, mobile is the most used tool on the internet, and 40% of all attacks starts from the mobile side. So then it's very important, to have control over your device, but also have some kind of a security solution on top, so that you one can protect, for example, your corporate email, or you can protect your business applications, or you can protect against phishing that comes in very many different ways. So the kind of key message from us is that NIS2 is much more than protecting your general infrastructure. It's also about protecting all your endpoints, including the mobile endpoint, of course.
Thank you very much. As I said before, it's the first part is more getting deeper into the risks and why is it relevant, yeah. And we will have a couple of minutes more about that, and then we
Yeah.
will go to practical stuff, yeah. But before we dive deeper, let's get a pulse in the room, and I will ask my colleague Julia to help us with it. We would like to give a quick poll. Which of these mobile security tools does your organization currently have in place? So click, and we will see kind of a results. If our audience, we have quite a few people here, where do they see the situation in their organization with mobile devices and their management and their security? So we will have about a minute um, this poll here. Okay. Can we show the results, Julia? Yeah. So we kind of were right about underlooking the seriousness of mobile devices, yeah, because the biggest percentage is that our attendees of our organizations consider that they don't have any of the mobile security tools in the room. Some of them use MDM solution, as we talked before, and you will elaborate why is it not enough in a couple of minutes, yeah. But we have some organizations that have both MDM and MTD,
Yeah.
so they are kind of ready.
Yeah, that's very,
Yeah,
very interesting.
they have good strategy, yeah. But again, bigger part of our attendees here um, deliver the same message we started, that it's the topic is a bit overlooked, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's maybe dive into the practical stuff, and we are talking about those mobile threats in general terms. Um, but we would like to maybe our attendees and ourselves to understand more how those attacks could actually look. Yeah.
Yeah.
So could you show us the kind of a practical example?
Yeah, of course. Just Rimantas want to say in regards to what you showed here and
Yeah,
what
please do, please do.
your customer what they have today. So having a MD solution is a good start, So then you have control over device, and then into this seminar and moving forward, it's all about how can you utilize that, and also, for example, get a security solution on top, which you saw some companies already have. So starting with the MDM, it's a good starting point. Then, let point of this start was to talk a little bit introductory about mobile security, but let's dive a little bit into the details, um, and look on what actually can happen. So we said that phishing is the most used way of trying to extract information unlawfully, unlegally from a company. And here's one example of a kind of a modern way of phishing, which is also called quishing, where you use QR code to extract information. But here is one example from Android where someone says that, hey, you have to download this scanner. And then sometimes you know how it is. It's easy to think, oh, this is interesting, and then you click, and then suddenly this application, it gives you accessibility to, for example, other application, or this application can actually extract information from your mobile phone. So, and how shall the user, understand that this is actually a malware attack? And that's why it's important to have some kind of mobile threat defense solution that can tell you and say, hey, 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 this is actually an attack. Because this seems very legit, if you understand what I mean. And talking about the QR codes, we have a lot of examples from many different companies. This is an example from Spain, where someone here has put a mark on top of the parking meter saying, "Hey, here you can pay faster. Just
Yeah,
scan here."
yeah,
And what's actually happening is that then they can steal information from you, and this is all fake, of course. So this is not legit at all. And when you are stressed, when you're going into a business meeting, it's really
yeah,
easy. I just scan this code, and then you can pay for your parking fast.
yeah,
And not so easy for people to understand, and might not cause that much damage if it's your private phone. But think about if you're using your business phone, you can give accessibility to the company, and the mobile will be the open door to the company's data and information.
yeah. It's a little bit scary. I saw those random QR codes on some buildings with access to free Wi-Fi and so on. So it's usually, I think it's almost always a scam. No
Yeah.
one puts out the QR codes just randomly. Yeah.
Yeah, and now people are understanding it more. But the first time this came out, actually, it became a big problem. And this is a very good example of modern phishing, so
Yes.
to say, coming from
Yes.
the mobile side.
Yes, that's really a good example. So again, you mentioned, and from our audience and the poll results, you mentioned that MDM is a good start, and we consider this also. We also, when we talk to our partners and customers, we say that let's start from MDM, manage your devices. Yeah, let's see your environment clearly, and then maybe put on top the threat defense. So again, my question is, you talked about this new ways of scamming, new ways of trying to get into your devices and your data. AI powered automated threats are coming, and we all know about. We are hearing about those risks. So why can't organizations still rely on device management solution, and they need to get additional protection provided
Oh,
by threat defense?
yeah, I think that's the million-dollar question.
Yeah.
So, mobile device management solution will help you get control over the mobile device. Let's say that you have a fleet of 300 devices within a company. and the mobile device system will give you control over that, help you to send out applications, and help you to have control. But then, as I said initially, this is not a security solution. And taking out a security solution is a specialized type of work. You need to understand the threats. You need to have a database where you have control over the threats and so on. And then you actually need some kind of smart software on top of the mobile device management system that can evaluate the usage of your phone and what is happening. And then, based on that, say if you're exposed to risks or not. So this is kind of, you can see like mobile threat defense as a expansion of mobile management, where everything kind of becomes one. And then the mobile device management system, together with the mobile threat defense system, can give you reports and can show you the threat picture. And then in regards to the next generation, it can also help you to take actions. And we're going to show you a little bit more on how that actually is working.
Okay, understood. So now it's a good time to give floor to Michal.
I think
Michal,
so.
I think you will show us a couple of very short demos. Yeah,
Yes.
I understood for both Android and iOS devices. Yeah, those will be short demos and practical narration from Michal. But we will see, yeah, and then we will leave a lot of time for Q&As because the questions are coming, and those are very practical. And during it, I think we will discover more and more. So let's start.
Exactly. We already know that threats are mostly coming to mobile devices, and they keep on evolving to be a targeted practice to or targeted malware attacks. So right now I will show you basically what Tron has told regarding the Spanish and the two scenarios that he developed. So what we made is a small demo out of it. So let me show you our console. I will make a pause once in a while and explain what is happening, because what you right now see is MDM plus MTD. So it's not just two different applications, it's only one application and one console. So we can manage all the MTD and MDM policies through one console. So right now we are creating a policy when this threat will be covered by our policy. So let's just watch. Go to policy. We'll have our webinar MTD demo, and we'll focus on two attacks. One is man in the middle. So we just have to enable this one, system threat every 5 minutes. And what are the remediations? So what will happen after the threat is detected or after the threat is coming to our device or any kind of device? Level high, which means it will be recognized as a high point on the system and high detection. Disable Wi-Fi, and show notification. And just that, it would just 2 clicks, and this whole thread of or man in the middle of attacks can be blocked using just 2 clicks. And the second one is the application threat rules, which is the when we try to install any APK file on, because that's for Android right now, any APK that has some suspicious activities beneath. The viral signature threshold, it's when it's 1, it's the highly, how can I say, it's the most critical when it comes to viruses. So it will detect everything, every kind of out of bounds signature. So we do not leave it at 1. We mostly use 2 or even more when it comes to attacks. And what will be done after? So we will send the alert, show notification, and automatically uninstall application. So these are the remediation for multiple attacks. So that is just two for Android that we will show, but there are hundreds of them. When it goes to with MDM, with plus MTD, that's total coverage as an invisible shield that admin have clicked with 2 times, and then it will work automatically. After that, we press save, and there will be a screen of the mobile device. So for example, check the policy status, check the mobile threat defense. There will be 2 policies that will have to be compliant. As you can see, mobile threat defense, man in the middle, the first attack. Save folder. And a totally safe application. So for example, we try to download anything from using some kind of open coffee or any kind of APK file. MDM also blocks from it, but this additional MTD got additional range of viruses, or try to find if the application is doing more than it should. Even the official Google Play might not detect it, but this can. And automatically remediation, threat found, uninstall application. You will not see this application because it was installed and automatically uninstalled during this time, because there was a virus scan attack, because the application could do something in the background. The second is the man in the middle. It's still the same device. So we have our own home Wi-Fi, and we try to connect to any kind of hotel, coffee, open Wi-Fi. This is test network in Polish as a demo. And it might take a little while because the interval is set on every 1 minute, but this threat will be detected as soon as any kind of attempt from this network will try to breach the device. So as you can see, policy is up to date, mobile threat defense is the same. And when we try to connect to this Wi-Fi, after, I don't know, a few minutes, it will be man in the middle attack detection, show notification, disable Wi-Fi, and you cannot connect, or you cannot even see this Wi-Fi ever again, because it was automatically blocked. It was sent to Pradio, which is in this case databases, and it will be uploaded, or it will be known as a known threat to this. So these are the 2 scenarios for Android device. If you have any questions, feel free to ask during the later on. I will show you the second one, which is the iOS. Oh, it's already starting. This is including the phishing attempt to SMS. So if you go one more time to our policy, change the mobile threat defense policy, it can be automatically enabled and you don't have to worry, but we're just focusing right now what to choose, and enable categorized URL monitoring, which means the phishing, quishing, any kind of fish with the additional name before, it will be automatically detected as a URL, because mostly it's the URL behind it. And then we set 1 day. It's a refresh from the radio databases, but also it detects any anomalies beneath the agent works. Configuring integration policy. So this policy was sent to the device. As you can see, device, policies, MDM, and MTD status is green, which is compliant. And then we received SMS from bank. Right now we are receiving multiple SMSs on WhatsApp, on simple SMS. For example, the bank has changed, or the bank's name has changed, or even the QR code with the parking line. You try to attempt it. So trusted bank, you receive transaction $1,450. Try to click on it. and this is automatically blocked. So you cannot browse this page because it's restricted. It's a simple test, but it really knows that you have some kind of invisible shield beneath when you try to log into any kind of network or any network application or in different vector of attacks during this when you have safe device, basically. Okay, I will stop sharing this because that's it from my part.
Perfect. Those are very good examples. Even now, I'm thinking about how many strange SMS notifications and WhatsApp we receive every day.
Exactly.
Of course, we're trying not to click on anything, but sometimes you can just mess up. Yeah, we need this invisible shield. So again, as I said before, thank you guys for introducing the critical problematic of devices and the risks and the practical examples. But we can see that questions are pouring. And those are very good questions. Even I'm just reading out them and thinking that, yeah, I would wonder. So Michal and Tron, you choose who will answer, please. So let's start from the first question, Michal, that you, when you were showing this demo, you touch a bit on this topic. So again, we have official app stores, yeah, like Google Play and Apple App Store, yeah. So we understand that they filter applications. They shouldn't allow bad applications, yeah. Can malware really reach an employee's phone through those official channels? We consider them official and safe.
Yeah, I believe I will answer this question because that happens frequently. So cyber criminals use dropper apps, which is applications that have behave perfectly normally during the app process review, but when it's installed on the user's phone, it waits for a specific trigger. So it will download some kind of malicious applications or payload as a post installation. So it will be not recognized during the official app stores, but additionally, that actors can buy some kind of apps with large users base or push the malicious applications. Then MTD will analyze this behavior and on the apps and will catch it and basically log this application. So it will require some time, but basically the whole engine of this Pradio or the MTD, it's keep on evolving. So it keep on refreshing the databases daily. So we have all refreshed line of defense for cyber criminals.
Thank you. Again, I'm surprised that the things that we consider safe and official, they're not. But
It was
it
bad,
happens a
but
lot.
it's
It
getting
happens a
better
lot
right now.
in our field. Yeah. Okay. So second very good practical question is, can you explain the key benefits and drawbacks of using MDM, device management solution, versus MAM? MAM is mobile application. Yeah,
Application
management.
manager.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what are the security risks when relying only on application management without other solutions? Yeah.
Yeah, I can start on elaborating on
Thank you.
that because that's a point we didn't get through in the beginning here. So, looking at Android, I read the report the other day that only 10% of all Android devices in the world are on the latest version. That means that they are not updated. And today, with all these security threats, you have to update the devices. We see that the producers, for example, Samsung, Apple, and others, they are providing updates and upgrades more and more often and frequently. And it's very important that all users get these updates and get the devices updated, and MDM can help you with that. So when we talked about threats initially, we have threat number one, the possibility to explore vulnerabilities through the operating system, and that's because you don't update or upgrade. And number two, you have the applications, as we have also talked about. And 3, you have the network, and 4, you have the phishing, where we see a boost in cyber attacks. So I would say that mobile device management also take care of the device and will help you control that part of the threats. That's my first point. Mia, you want to elaborate on that or add something?
I totally agree. When you have MDM, you have total scope of what you see on the console. So you will see all the devices. So you will see the IMEIs, we will see the specific SIM card number. With the MAM, you just see the what's the business application. So you get the whole database of your assets inside the company. So as a additional for that.
Okay, thank you, guys. I'm very glad that we have enough time because the questions are pouring in.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, 2 questions. I will ask them both. I'm hoping that the persons who ask them won't be against it. Both are kind of relating to scalability. Yeah. So first question is, can the deployment of MDM and MTD in an organization with hundreds or even thousands of employees scattered, for example, and it happens a lot in our region across all the Baltics, be executed through your solutions remotely? And kind of the second question, but it comes from the same thing, is how well your solution scales in the environment with thousands of users. How much time the administrator needs to dedicate per month? How would you evaluate that to cover everything? Especially how it works with thousands of devices and users and with mixed environment with own devices and BYODs. So scalability.
Yeah, that was a lot of questions into one question. Mia, do you want to start, and then I can elaborate
Yeah.
on top?
Regarding the execution of 100 devices and thousands of devices, that's totally
Remotely.
less because if you leverage programs like Apple Business Manager, Android Enterprise, which is the zero-touch enrollment, or the KME, which is the Samsung Knox enrollment,
Yeah.
devices can be shipped directly to the employees with different countries, different regions. It can be scattered even across the Europe, because each time when you open the device, open the package, you press power, it will automatically install the MDM agent. The moment they turn on, it's totally free, and the MTD is inside our agents, which means you have 2 solutions into one phone as an instant. It requires zero touch from the IT team, so they will require small training on the MDM and the zero touch enrollments from officials just like Android or Apple. So that's the whole thing you have to maintain. And after that, you have to check if the green color is on your device. Just that.
Yes.
And this is a part of a modern architecture of setting up mobile devices and using mobile devices for business purposes. You have to think about the architecture, and device enrollment is key. That's the start, and also gives you an additional layer of security, actually.
So and as I said, the mixed environment with bring your own devices, and so on. Does it create more problems for administrator?
No, you can use BYOD or WPC, which is the second mode, entirely. We got projects when people are using BYOD mode with tens of thousand devices for specific store, and that's completely fine. They can also use the zero touch, so it doesn't zero touch for WPC. So it's completely fine by them to use BYOD mode, or simply remove the profile after it's been used, or they move to different company. They will just remove this additional profile. So that's very easy for them.
Yeah, and also to add one thing, Rimantas, is that the solution that we are showing you now is one of the few solutions in the market which has one console. And of course, that makes the distribution and scalability much easier. You get the mobile device management and mobile threat defense in one, as I said. You don't have to manage these out of two consoles, having mobile device management on the left side and then moving to the right side, doing mobile threat defense, and then moving back and forward. Here we get everything into one, and that's one of our actually main benefits with our solution.
Thank you very much. Very extensive and understandable answer. Very practical questions. Again,
Yeah, that's
battery
good.
life is very important for our smartphones. Yeah. How do, for example, both of those solution or one integrated solution, yeah, how does it impact battery life, and does it drain the life of the batteries?
I believe I can answer that because that's the impact is none or not at all because the modern architectures have evolved because the old antivirus, as we know, they were scanning the files and everything. It was similar with the device, so it was scanning all the non-necessary vectors of attacks. Right now, Essentials relies on lightweight, so it is a little machine learning models rather than the constant cloud polling or heavily background scanning. It analyzes the behavior and anomalies and natively on the device, which means the battery impact is basically 2 to 3% per day. All depend how you set it, but mostly you set it once, you check the battery, and if you are satisfied with the current solution, it will work that way and it will not affect your battery. And also the integrated MTD, which by SDK, so it means the whole solution of MTD is inside agent. The battery drainage is for just one application, not two. It's additional battery.
Understand. Thank you very much. Now, two questions, but I will ask them separately, not to do the same mistake again. Yeah, so it's related how MTD works, how it responds when it detects a threat. Maybe some part of it you, again, answered during the presentation or discussion, but please elaborate on that. What exactly happens to the device the moment MTD detects a threat? Is it automatically blocked or quarantined? How does it look like practically?
I believe that's where the magic happens because MTD acts as a sensor system. So it will detect any threat, malicious payload, SMS, QR code, basically link with additional value inside that can do more than redirect you to a specific website. So, and it will send some kind of real-time risk score to the MDM. And MDM, by the console that I just show you, you set the rules. So you set what will happen after this detect will be on the device. So it can be a various one: send notification, completely wipe the device, send uninstall application, unconnect with the Wi-Fi, and so on and so on. So you would have to choose or use some kind of default settings. That's our also plan to migrate it as a default settings with the MTD that will have minimum impact on your device, but it will detect the threats on the base level. And I believe that's the whole idea of this integration. MTD detects and MDM acts as additional actions that will happen after the threat is detected.
Okay, thank you. Let's move on. We will want to cover all of them. So very good question from our attendee again on how the employees react to those solutions. Very normal question. We receive a lot of them from users. So again, in case of employees using their own phones, which happens quite a lot, yeah, what is your experience? How do you see reaction and the feedback when employees are asked or need to install not only MDM but also MTD? Do they keen on doing that, or do they get a lot of questions? What does it spy on them or something like that? Yeah. Does it collect traceability on the personal data they use, personal search history or something like that?
I can start with that, and then maybe
Yeah.
Michał can elaborate. So that's a very good question. So let's start with the MDM solutions. So our MDM solution is, of course, GDPR compliant, and a part of that is to not looking into private data. So that's the part of the solution. So that is the answer. You know, you cannot be intrusive in that sense. But then you come to kind of actually a complex point where you put a mobile threat defense solution on top, which actually scans what's happening on the phone. And if you are an end user and if you have a private phone, I think that there's actually a lot of things that you are doing. So there's the mobile threat defense solution will then work actively to protect you from threats, from malicious website and so on. And my experience is that you should do testing with the users, do a proof of concept and so on, to kind of also set the level of intrusiveness, if you understand what I mean. Because end users are using the phones for a lot of things, and if the phone beeps every 10 seconds, hey, there's something here, hey, there's something there, it might be seen as intrusive. So our experience is that run a proof of concept, find out the right level, you know, on how you should set the security versus usability. But this is actually a very good point that you need
Yeah,
to address
yeah,
into a project.
really
It's the
good point.
human aspect of the process. It's not
Yeah.
the technology part. It's the human aspect. I don't know, Mia, do you want to add something in regards from a technical point of view, or?
With the technical, apart from the battery, it will not affect the customers. But for example, I know there are multiple issues right now with the SIM card, with the eSIM card. It
Mm,
For the old employees, it isn't that simple to install the SIM card, scan the QR code, put some numbers. We can do that remotely using MDM. So if we have a specific API that carrier is using, we can send whole configuration to the device as a SIM card configuration. So the user do not have to put additional PIN codes and the second number is the PUC number. So it's very easy for him to have whole device configured for him without any remembering multiple codes.
thank you. Okay, let's go to the couple of last questions. I'm getting very practical. Uh, this common misunderstanding doesn't simply updating the phone's operating system, iOS or Android, to the latest version eliminate vast majority of vulnerabilities and risks we are now discussing.
Oh, um, yeah. Let's bring it back to where we started,
Yeah.
where I said that, you know, the infrastructure and the network and the security as is not good enough. Because now we are talking about protection outside the home network, outside the business network. And as we saw in the slides, phishing, you know,
Mm,
consists of almost 60% of all the attacks, and that's different to exploiting a vulnerability on the
yeah.
hardware
Yeah.
side. So updating the devices will lock one door, but there will still be other open doors where phishing and smishing through SMS, quishing through QR codes and so on is where we see most attacks today. And here is our clear advice: you need to be protected.
That's a very good point that closing one door opens another. Yeah, that's a very good point.
There are several doors that you have to close, and you have to be aware of. And I think that we have thought a lot about this, and
Yeah.
we are securing all the main doors, so to say. And updating the OS is one of them, but there are still other doors you need to protect.
Okay, so let's go to the last question, guys. It's related to using TechStep. Yeah, very simple, practical from user standpoint. Do you need to synchronize the app by launching it every day, or does it run seamlessly?
I believe I can answer technically because we talked about the battery drainage, and this is basically how often the application connects to the server, because that's the client server application mostly. So you send additional push messages using Android or iOS push, but it will connect device to specific server. So how many pushes a day can be sent from one device to another? The simple answer is it will work automatically how you set it. So the admin that sets the schedule of how many times does it have to connect to the server to check what is happening. The additional push force the device to connect to server to check what's going on. But apart from that, the application constantly connects to server every, I don't know, 10 minutes, every hour, or every 24 hours. It's really depend on the admin and how often do you make changes inside your organization, which is inside your company. So how many times do you change the application? How many times you upload new Wi-Fi, and so on and so on. So that's
Perfect. Thank you. And we are point on time. It's very good. But I think we would have a lot of more questions, but as Yulia just posted in the chat box, the webinar is ending, but please, we're waiting. Reach out to Hermitage Solution team, to our partners channel team, inquiring about those solutions. We will help you to discover, like Tron said, to do the POC, to do the testing. Reach out to the contacts that are pointed out in our chat. And Michal, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, we got 3 months free of charge testing of the MDM plus MTD. So we will generate a special license from MTD for you if you all will be interested. And also, we will help you with the additional configuration of the system. So we already made some movies, the short demo walkthrough how to start. So how to configure this, that, and how to basically log into the system and what should we do first. So that will be very easy for you. Everybody right now watches movies just to configure everything, so that they don't want to read 100 pages manual. So
Of course.
it will help with the configurations, and you can test the NTD solution for your own benefits as an additional point, because that's a special generated license that we have a pool for everybody to test.
Perfect. So we will follow up everyone who registered for this event with an email, with this call to action, with special testing offer from TechStep. And please let's reach out and talk about your specific needs regarding mobile device management and protection. And together with TechStep team, we will help you to evaluate and offer you good solutions. So thank you very much to Michal and Tron for being in this great webinar. Very important, and I see that it's very important team to our listeners. And see you next time.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
When something breaks, your team stops. When something leaks, your whole business stops. Phishing links, rogue apps, unsecured networks. Your phone is the door and someone's always trying the handle. Techstep Essentials. MDM neutralizes threats instantly without interrupting your work. Finally, device management and threat defense in one place. No juggling tools, no gaps between them. Every device secured, every threat stopped, and one policy enforced across all your operating systems. Built and hosted in Europe. Your data stays in the EU, with on-premise deployment available. Certified to meet strict European cybersecurity and data protection standards. Built for mission-critical environments where failure is not an option.